Well, all I see is a black screen. OBS is showing. Wait. Okay, here it is. Alright, we are live. Good evening, everyone. So let me just show you here the 2018 Stanley Cup Finals. Alright, as you can see down here, today is June 7th. Well, it was on this day, 6 years ago, that the Washington Capitals won the Stanley Cup, the rigged and scripted Stanley Cup, just like all of them are. But today we are going to be going over the numbers behind this Stanley Cup victory for the Washington Capitals, why they won it in the season and the day that they did. And also, this was the last Stanley Cup Finals that I had been paying attention to before I knew that sports were scripted. And as a result, this is probably the Stanley Cup Finals that I know the most about in terms of the script. And I think the reason why is because like in 2020, like everything was 56 and 201, and we really got to understand how much the Jesuits control everything, how much is in tribute to the Jesuits. And as you're going to see in this video, there is a lot of Jesuit symbolism in this Stanley Cup final and throughout the career of Alex Ovechkin. What I'm going to start off by doing is we're going to watch bits and pieces of this video that I made last year. And there's a lot of things that I've learned since then. So we're going to watch it and then we're going to pause it and then watch it, pause it, and then fill in with some additional information. I'm trying to think of the best place to start. I guess we'll start here.
Let's get started, shall we? Before I get into the teams, it's important to establish the connection between the Jesuits and Freemasons. Both have their headquarters in Washington, D.C. The Scottish Rite House of the Temple is located at 1733 Northwest 16th Street. We'll touch on the importance of 17 and 33 later on. This location is the headquarters for the Southern Jurisdiction of Freemasonry in the United States, controlling most of the country. Also located in Washington, D.C. is the Jesuit Conference and the Association of Jesuit Colleges and Universities. The Jesuit University Georgetown is located in Washington, D.C. If you want to learn more about the Jesuit-Freemason connection, I encourage you to watch this recent video by See Through the Script. The Washington Capitals began play in 1974. It was a fitting year for our nation's capital, as our nation's Independence Day is 7/4. In Gematria, holiday, Jesus, cross, Masonic, gospel, Jewish, and Messiah all equal 74. Washington Capitals equals 211, the 47th prime. If you're just getting into Gematria, 47 is one of the most important, if not the most important number to the Cabal. DC, government, Democrat, Republican, Whig, White House, authority, and president all equal 47. The compass in the Freemason logo is set at 47 degrees. Washington Capitals equals 76, a tribute to the year our country was founded, 1776. Their first ever win was by a score of 4-3. D is the fourth letter and C is the third. Keep that in mind for later. 43 is going to.
Well, I do just want to go back.
Ever win.
So October 17th. Look at October 17th. So it says here it's the 7th day, leaving 75 days left in the year, but that means it's the 76th to last day of the year. And we're just talking about 76 right here.
Was by a score of 4-3. D is the fourth letter and C is the third. Keep that in mind for later. 43 is going to come up a lot in this video. Masonic equals 43 and Society of Jesus equals 191, the 43rd prime. Washington, D.C. equals 56, just like Society of Jesus. Their first season did not fare very well, though, as they only managed 8 wins for a .131 winning percentage. 131 is the 32nd prime, like America, and there are 32 sun rays on the Jesuit logo. 8 and 32 coming together will be a big theme to look out for later. Now let's skip forward to September 17th, 1985. That was the day current Capitals star Alexander Ovechkin was born. This had 130 and 49 date numerology, just like Washington. September 17th is written as 17/9 in much of the world, including his native Russia. 179 is the 41st prime number, and USA equals 41.
Okay, we're going to add something on here. Constitution Day is American federal observance that recognizes the adoption of the U.S. Constitution. It is normally observed on September 17th. Look at that. So Alex Ovechkin, born on September 17th, Constitution Day, and he plays for the team in the nation's capital. Give me a break. And we're going to talk about Philadelphia, not in this video that we're going to watch, but in this live stream, I will mention Philadelphia later on because it's important.
His full name, Alexander Mikhailovich Ovechkin, equals 147. Freemason, U.S. President, and President of the United States all equal 147. Furthermore,
also, I do want to add one thing we'll talk about. So his birthday is September 17th. Let's look up if I can spell it right. September 17th is the day leaving 105 days left in the year. We're going to touch upon 105 as well later on.
And President of the United States all equal 147. Furthermore, there are 147 windows on the White House. Alex Ovechkin equals 129, as does America in the Jewish cipher. Don't ask me why Derek renamed it Latin. And 129 is 201 in base 8 counting. The Jesuit order equals 201. So it's safe to say he was born for the part. We'll get back to Ovechkin later.
Okay, so that's enough on Ovechkin for the time being. Wait, what did I say here?
17 years after the Capitals began playing.
Oh, okay. Okay, so then I talk about 17 and 17. Yeah, okay. All right, let's skip forward a little bit. All right, yeah, and if you watched my most recent video on Sharks winning the draft lottery, I've added a lot more to the Jesuit component of San Jose since then. Yeah, and also shout out to King Richard here, City of San Jose, capital of Silicon Valley, 201. They're about to draft Macklin Celebrini, born on the day leaving 201 days left in the year. Okay, here we go.
The Capitals made it to the Stanley Cup. It is similar. 7 seasons later, the Capitals made it to the Stanley Cup Finals for the first time ever. This was the Capitals' 24th season, and the sun equals 24, like there are 24 hours in a day, and the Jesuits' logo is a sun. While he did not have any association to the Capitals yet, it's important to note that this was 13 years after Ovechkin was born, and remember, USA equals 41, the 13th prime. They were unfortunately swept by the Red Wings, with the score of Game 4 being 4-1. The Caps were outscored 13-7 across the series. Washington, D.C. equals 137, the 33rd prime. I mentioned earlier that if you're new to gematria, 47 might be the most important number. Well, if there's any number that's more important, it's 33. Masonry, order, secrecy, society, people, person, and police all equal 33, and there are 33 vertebrae in our spine. Furthermore, the finals ended on 139 date numerology, like Freemasonry, and 139 date numerology, like Freemasonry.
So 139 is the 34th prime number. We're going to talk about 34 later in this live stream.
And 49 date numerology, like Washington. We'll hop in the time machine again.
Okay, let's skip forward to
Ovechkin was born. Nearly 2 years later, on June 26, 2004, Alexander Ovechkin is drafted by the Washington Capitals at number 1 overall.
Okay, another thing that I want to show you here, 2004 Stanley Cup Finals. And that was won by the Tampa Bay Lightning. And look what day it ended on. It ended on June 7th, 2004. So in the Stanley Cup Finals immediately preceding when Ovechkin was drafted, it ends on the day that Ovechkin later wins the Stanley Cup 14 years later. But not only that, we're going to touch upon the Lightning later because the Capitals beat the Lightning to get to the Stanley Cup Finals in 2018.
This had 56 date numerology, and that year's draft was held at the RBC Center, which equals 56 and 43. While this was a leap year, June 26th is normally the 177th day of the year, just like the Jesuit order. June 26th is also the day leaving 188 days left in the year, just like Bavarian Illuminati. And if you add up all the denominations of the US dollar bill, it equals 188. If you don't think the Illuminati and the Jesuits are connected, well, I have news for you. Order of Illuminati equals 201, just like the Jesuit order, and the Illuminati's founder, Adam Weishaupt, died 201 days after the anniversary of its founding. Unfortunately for Ovechkin, the 2004-05 lockout canceled the entire season. He finally made his much-anticipated NHL debut on October 5th, 2005.
All right, here we go. I said I was going to talk about 105 because September 17th is the day leaving 105 days left in the year, and then Ovechkin made his debut on 10/5. And I don't know, hold on, let me just keep watching this. I want to see how much I mentioned.
He made his much-anticipated NHL debut on October 5th, 2005. This was 18 days after his 20th birthday. Washington, D.C. equals 61, the 18th prime, like IHS, the monogram for Isus Hominum Salvator, which appears on the Jesuit logo. Ovechkin, who wears number 8, scored 2 goals in a 3-2 win over Columbus. I mentioned earlier to look out
for... Wait, why did I say he wears number 8? I don't know, why did I say that? Oh, because I was talking about how earlier in the video I said 32 were going to come up. Yeah. So Capitals' first season, 8 wins, 131 point percentage. And now Ovechkin's first ever game, number 8, scores 2 goals in a 3-2 victory. And also something to keep in mind. So this was Ovechkin was 20 years old. This was 18 days after he turned 20 years old. Just earlier, we were talking about the 1998 Stanley Cup Finals. 1998. So from this to when the Capitals next made it to the Stanley Cup Finals, and the next time they made it to the Conference Finals too, was 20 years later. We had Ovechkin make his NHL debut at age 20, and this was 18 days after his birthday, and he makes it to the Stanley Cup Finals in 2018. That is not by accident. And this is also October 5th. That's the day leaving 87 days left in the year. National Hockey League 87. Just to show you here. Oct 5. Yep, day leaving 87 days left in the year. That was also the same day that Sidney Crosby made his NHL debut. Just to show you. Sidney Crosby, and he was born on 8/7. Yeah, same exact day that Crosby made his NHL debut. And if you watch Shane Lux's video, he'll videos, he'll tell you a lot how the Crosby was born on 8/7, makes his debut on the day, leaving 87 days left in the year. In 80, it was also born in 87, and there's one more thing. Oh, I think his contract was like he makes $8.7 million a year or something like that. Let me just make sure that's correct. Yep, there it is. Annual average value, 8.7 million. And Crosby and Ovechkin, they're like two main players in the league for the last almost 20 years now. I don't know if I've. Oh, and speaking of Columbus, right? Because we're going to talk about Columbus later on, but Columbus is 47, of course. But Columbus, Ohio, 153 and 54, and 171 is the 18th triangular number too. Columbus, Ohio, 153 and 54, just like Jesuit order. So you see there, 54, 153, 54, 153. I forget, does Columbus... Yeah, Columbus OH is 129. Does Columbus Blue Jackets equal anything significant? Not that I see. So what about Blue Jackets? Blue Jackets is 188. Yeah, and Blue Jackets 71. Ovechkin's NHL debut at 71's the 20th prime. As you see there.
For 8-32. Well, here's another incident. It was also the first game of the Capitals' 32nd season. Oh.
No, and also one thing. So that was their 32nd season, which means he was drafted right before their 31st season. And there is something with Ovechkin in 31, which I haven't quite put my finger on yet. We'll talk about 31 and Ovechkin more later on in this video or in this stream. But just I guess just to show you, hold on, just go back a couple years. All right, 32nd season, 32 Sunrise on the Jesuit logo. Yeah, so this was their 31st season. He was drafted just before their 31st season. He was round 1, pick 1. 31's the 11th prime. All right.
It was also the first game of the Capitals' 32nd season. Oh, and Columbus is going to come back around later.
Yep.
Ovechkin's teams had trouble getting out.
Okay. That brings us to here. And that season began on the same exact date, or same date, October 5th. But this is their 34th season. We were talking about earlier. Freemasonry, 139. Freemasonry, 139. That's the 34th prime. We're going to talk about 34 a lot more in this video later, and also if you look up the Society of Jesus, I guess this brings it to the Jesuit, 1534, August 15th, 1534, Ignatius of Loyola, they called themselves the Compagnia. It's like it's an enye, but it is followed by an I. It's not kind of difficult to say for an English speaker. It might be even more might be even difficult to say for a Spanish speaker as well. Compañía, I guess it's compañía. Like if it wasn't an enye, it'd just be compañía, but it's Compañía de Jesus, also Amigos en el Señor, or Friends in the Lord. All right, so this is the day the Jesuits were created, or the year 1534. And this is the year the Capitals made the playoffs for the first, well, I should say the year that Alex Ovechkin made the playoffs for the first time. And also remember, he made his debut on October 5th, 2005. So October 5th is the first time in 5 years that they made the playoffs. Oh, I did want to look at one more thing about Ovechkin. What was it? Yeah, and 65 and 56. Also, his rookie year. In Ovechkin's rookie year, Jonathan Cheechoo of the Sharks won the Rocket Richard Trophy with 56 goals scored, and I talk about the Sharks and the Capitals are these two teams that have this Jesuit connection. And so I think it's not a surprise that in Ovechkin's rookie season, a Sharks player won the Rocky Richard Trophy with 56 goals. I think that is not by accident. All right. Now, continue on with this season. On April 5th, the Capitals defeated the Panthers 3-1 at home to clinch the franchise's third Southeastern title. So this was Ovechkin's first playoff appearance. He clinched the playoffs for the first time on April 5th. Why is that important? So if we go from Ovechkin's previous birthday to April 5th, that was 201 days later. And I already talked about this, but just to say it again, the Jesuit Order 201. And the date that this was on was April 5th, 4/5. We're going to talk about 45 later, but because the reason why 45 is important is because in this game right here, when the Capitals won the Stanley Cup, they became 4-5 in Stanley Cup Finals games. But yeah, and also, as I had mentioned earlier, the Constitution Day is signed in Philadelphia. Ovechkin born on Constitution Day. And then his first ever playoff opponent is Philadelphia. Come on.
Out of the first round early in his career, but his first 4 playoff series all ended 4-3. There's that number again. In 2006...
Okay, all right, we're going to fast forward a bit. Yeah, that lockout thing really bothers me because I never really... It's hard to know what season it is. Like, there's always multiple answers as to which season it is because it's... I don't want to talk about it that much. Yeah, then, yeah, Sharks' first ever Stanley Cup Finals win, 3-2. You know, Ovechkin is actually a Sharks fan. And yeah, and I was talking about 31 in Ovechkin. He was 31 years old when he admitted that his favorite team was the Sharks growing up. I was just talking about Ovechkin at 31. It was what? Round 1 pick 1? There's something more to it. Oh, that's right. And he was drafted just ahead of the Capitals' 31st season. Yeah, I'm not sure what the Ovechkin 31 connection is. Does his name equal 31 or something? No, his name doesn't equal 31. Well, maybe Ovechkin. So Ovechkin and Alex Ovechkin are both 120. I didn't know that. Alexander Ovechkin. Okay, Ovech. Yeah, I'm not sure what the 31 connection is with Alex Ovechkin. Does it have to do with his birthday? Why isn't it showing the... So we just... Yeah, I'm not sure what the 31 connection is. It was the day he was drafted? No. Was it the day he made his debut? No. Yeah, this version of the date numerology I'm not a big fan of. I just like those top 4. Yeah, I'm not sure what the 31 connection, like why 31 is so important to him.
Wait, what?
Okay, I did mention in this. I didn't realize I'd mentioned that.
7th prime, reminding us that he was drafted by the Capitals heading into their 31st season. He said that he had an Ulf Dolan jersey on his wall, who played...
Okay, hold on. I'm just going to fast forward a little bit more. Yeah, we already talked about that. Okay. I guess I can start here.
2 years after the Sharks made the finals for the first time, the Washington...
All right. Well, we're back online. I think. Let me check. Yeah, we're back. Jason, I'll talk about the Oilers or Panthers probably in another live stream tomorrow. But okay, I completely lost track because internet just went out. And that's right. I was going to talk about the ridiculous playoff series between the Capitals and the Blue Jackets that one year. Yeah, I mean, like the Capitals blew leads in both these games, and then they should have lost this game, and then they said there's like they won on like an own goal in the second overtime. Yeah, final score 3-2. Final score 4-3. I already talked about the importance of those numbers. Yeah, first win of the playoffs en route to the Stanley Cup victory is in Columbus, which we've already talked about why that city and that team is so important to Ovechkin's career. And they end up winning that. Then they beat the Penguins. I know Shane Lux has talked about the symbolism behind that as a bunch of 92s. Let me just.
They beat Columbus, the team they played in Alex Ovechkin's NHL debut. Their first win of that series was a 3-2 victory. Deja vu? This was their 43rd season. Now you're probably thinking to yourself again, isn't it their 44th since they started in 1974? Two things. One, the lockout, which we just talked about. And even Wikipedia says it was their 43rd season, despite saying that their previous season was also their 43rd. If it was their 44th...
Yeah, and also what's really ridiculous about that is... Alright, let's just go... So now on Wikipedia, it'll say like 50th season, 49th season of play. But they were not doing this last year. I wonder, I mean, my videos don't get a lot of views. But I do wonder if my videos had an effect on this. Because this was not a thing on Wikipedia until recently. There you go, 43rd season. Oh wait, 43rd season. Oh my god. Okay.
They beat the Lightning.
Yeah, and there's the Lightning again. Remember, they won the Stanley Cup just before Ovechkin was drafted. Then they end up beating them en route to Ovechkin's only Stanley Cup victory.
To get there, which equals 44. And they also won that series 4-3. In the Stanley Cup Finals, they faced off against the expansion Vegas Golden Knights, and Las Vegas, Nevada equals 43. They unfortunately lost Game 1, 4-6.
Yeah, and that game also was like super ridiculous too. That like, I just remember Ryan Reeves got away with like a blatant cross check and then scored like a couple seconds later. It's like Ryan Reeves is not a hockey player. Ryan Reeves should be in like WWE or something like that. Ryan Reeves is probably like the saddest excuse of a hockey player I've ever seen. I mean, and I don't get me started on that, but yeah, he got away with, he scored a goal and then in the third period, which sparked the Knights' comeback. Whatever. Yeah, it was at Memorial Day '64. I think
Memorial Day,
Knights,
which equals 64. The 46th
yeah, Vegas
prime.
Night. Yeah, so yeah, that stupid scripted outcome. All right, yeah, next game, and then this one was also kind of stupid. I mean, but let's see if I can pull up the video. So hold the save. Like
the showstopping BMW i4's electricity in its most powerful form, an impressive range and the power of over 500 horses. BMW, the ultimate electric driving machine. Lease a BMW i4 for $499 per month.
The edge of the crease, and now the hash marks as it's dealt back in, and Seneca.
I mean, like, how do you not put that home? How do you not bury that? You're an NHL player.
The puck goes across.
He has like half the net open. How do you not put that home? I'm sorry. How do you not bury that shot?
As a wide open net.
Come on. I mean, yeah, like it is a miraculous save, but I mean, an NHL caliber player should be able to put that home. I'm sorry. Okay, moving on.
So they won Game 2 3-2 to improve to 1-5 all time in Stanley Cup Finals games. Remember, DC equals 47, the 15th prime. In light of all the 32 themes we've talked about so far, Las Vegas NV equals 32, so it's fitting that they won their first ever finals game by that score in that city.
And also, they improved to 1-5 in the Stanley Cup Finals, and that was on May 30th, which, let me see if I can pull it up. May 30th is the 150th day of the year. So no surprise there, 1-5, 150.
Their first ever finals game by that score in that city.
Okay, I also wanted to, and then the first Stanley Cup Finals game at home for Alex Ovechkin, the score is 3-1. So there's that 3-1 thing again with Ovechkin that I still can't really put a finger on why 31 is so important. But anyways, we were talking about 34 earlier because Ovechkin's first playoff appearance was in the Capitals' 34th season. There were 34 goals scored in this series. 7, 10, 16, 20, 8, 9, 11, 14. 20 plus 14 is 34. As we mentioned earlier, I'll mention it again. Freemasonry 139, that's the 34th prime number. And then the Jesuits were created in 1534. And another player who was born on Constitution Day is Pat Mahomes. Well, I need to see his son. Pat Mahomes II, born on Constitution Day 10 years after Ovechkin. And then he goes to White House High School. Come on. And Alex Ovechkin, you'll see he's born in 1985. Pat Mahomes won his first Super Bowl just at the beginning of 2020, which means Ovechkin was 34 years old when Mahomes won his first Super Bowl. And then just the other day, I shouldn't say the other day, the other month, we go down to, where is it? Where did I find, here it is. Just search 34. Yeah, there we go. And then we just had the Super Bowl in Las Vegas where Mahomes won the Super Bowl on his 34th completion in Las Vegas, where Alex Ovechkin, who has the same birthday as him, played in the Stanley Cup Finals in Las Vegas, where there were 34 goals scored in that series. And then Mahomes wins the Super Bowl on his 34th completion in Las Vegas, when Ovechkin was 34 years old when Mahomes won his first Super Bowl. Oh my God. And that was on 2/11, 47th prime, DC 47. Oh, jeez.
They won their next 3 games to win the Stanley Cup, 4-1 in Ovechkin's 13th season as 41.
Yeah, 41 to 13th prime.
The score of Game 5 was 4-3. What a way to conclude their 43rd season, winning it in Las Vegas, Nevada. 43 is the 14th prime, and this was 14 years after Ovechkin was drafted into the league. The previous summer, on August 9th, 2017, Capital One purchased the naming rights to the Capitals Arena, becoming Capital One Arena. This was just over 43 weeks.
Yeah, and how ridiculous is that? This is, here, let me just show you here.
Have you heard?
August 9th, 2017 becomes Capital One Arena. Now let's pull this up here. 8/9/2017 to 6/7/2018. 102 days, a lot like 32. And 32 is like one of the main numbers in this live stream. Give me a break. Capital One Arena, 302 days before Alexander Ovechkin wins the Stanley Cup at age 32. Oh my God.
Before the Capitals got Stanley Cup #1. They also
Yeah, and it's also there's
before the Capitals got
look at the inconsistencies. That says it's their 44th season. When other pages say it was their 43rd. Come on.
Stanley Cup.
Actually, I want to see if it's still like that. If it changed anything. No, wait. I thought I was looking at. Hold on. Oh, that's another thing that I didn't realize too. Okay, that's something that's interesting. That the 1998 Stanley Cup Finals was the 105th year of the Stanley Cup being contested, and then Ovechkin was born on the day leaving 105 days left in the year, and he made his debut on 10/5, and 105 is the 14th triangular number, and he wins the Stanley Cup 14 years after he's drafted. I did not realize that. Okay. Huh.
#1. They also improved to 4-3 all-time against Vegas. Ovechkin won the Conn Smythe Award at age 32. They won it all 19 seasons after making it for the first.
Okay, so something I didn't mention there, but here, let's just go to 2018 just to. Unless, do I already have it up here? Oh, I'm sorry, I already have it. My bad. But yeah, this was on 6/7. 67's the 19th prime. 19's the 8th prime. You have number 8, Alex Ovechkin, winning the Stanley Cup to conclude his 19th playoff series on 6/7.
First time. 19 is the 8th prime, and Ovechkin wears number 8. And those finals concluded Ovechkin's 19th NHL playoff series.
Right, and yeah, 67. Hockey 67. It's a nice date. Oh yeah, hockey 31. Yeah, that's probably why. Okay, that's probably why 31 is so important to Ovechkin's career. Okay, that's it. That's probably it right there. Hockey 31. Okay, I think that probably answers my question.
This was on June 7th, in tribute to George Washington, who died at age 67, and they won the Stanley Cup on then Vice President Mike Pence's 59th birthday. On July 23rd.
Okay, another thing that I did not mention. Wait, how do I just pause it? Okay, so 6/7. That date is also written 7/6. Washington Capitals. Washington Capitals 76, like I mentioned at the beginning of the video. If I can find it. Maybe it's not there. I'll find it at some point. Okay, maybe where did I mention it? Because I know I talked about the importance of. Well, I guess I'll just mention it again. Washington Capitals 76. Our country founded in 7/6, and then the Capitals were founded in 74, like how our Independence Day, July 4th, 7/4. Yeah, that's. I don't know, do I have to say anything else? Oh, another thing. I was just talking about 105, right? Look when Ovechkin became captain. January 5th. That's like 1/05. Or you could say it's also like 1/5, 47, the 15th prime, DC 47. I wonder how many days after his birthday that was. So that was from, let's do 9/17/2009 to January 5th, 2010. 110 days. Doesn't think Ovechkin equals 110? No, Ovechkin doesn't equal. Is it Alex Ovechkin? Alexander? I felt like there was a 110 connection. Why did I? Was it? Maybe I'm just losing my mind here. I could have sworn there was a 110 connection somewhere with Ovechkin. Maybe I just am not sure. I'm just forgetting. But yeah, 47, 15th prime, DC 47, and also the other patriotic team in Washington D.C. is the Washington Nationals. And the Washington Nationals, they won their only World Series in their 15th season in DC. Yeah, and that was less than 2 years after the Capitals won it. Yeah, and they won 105 games. Yeah, and they won 105 games that season because they won 12 games in the playoffs. How many losses did they have? They would have had two. So they would have had seven. Yeah, and they had finished the season with 74 losses. That is not surprising at all. See if anyone in the chat is saying anything. Yeah, I don't know if the chat is even working right now. Sorry about that. My internet. Well, that's why we had that weird pause in the middle of the live stream. Okay. Do I have to say anything else here? Oh, yeah, there are a couple more things I want to say. From Ovechkin's birthday until they won the Stanley Cup, 263 days later. That's, of course, the 56th prime, Society of Jesus 56. Yeah, Society of Jesus 56 right there. And then until his next birthday, 14 weeks and 4 days later, Jesuit Order 144. Yeah, no surprise, no surprise. I guess there is a couple other things I can talk about with Ovechkin. So I did a live stream earlier saying how what was it? This was, if I just search Ovechkin's 56th empty net goal. Right, what, I can't remember what day this was though. Oh, okay, so was it on, which day was it on? I don't know if it was on the 11th or the 12th. It was probably on the 11th because that's when that earliest upload is. Yeah, it was on the 11th. So that was, hold on. To 11/11/2023. Oh, sorry, wrong year. Oh yeah, so that was he scored his 56th career empty net goal, span of 56 days after his birthday, and that was 1 month and 26 days after his birthday. And Gretzky was born on 1/26. He tied Wade Gretzky that day. And yeah, 8 weeks, span of 8 weeks, number 8. It's also the day leaving 50 days left in the year. Was it America's 50? Yeah, America's also 139. We talked about that being very important. Yeah, and the year that they won the Stanley Cup, they got 49 wins in the regular season. Yeah, and then also Ovechkin's first year. Hold on. Wait, no, sorry, not Ovechkin's first year, but the year that he first won the Rock Richard Trophy, in the year that they made the playoffs for the first time, he scored 65 goals. The Capitals won 65 games. Yeah, just 49 plus 16 is 65. So they won 65 games that year. And then in that first year, we made the playoffs, which was very symbolic. Scored 65 goals, 112 points. Jesuits operate in 112 countries. And then Ovechkin's 57th empty net goal, where he beat Wayne Gretzky, or he beat Wayne Gretzky's record. That was on February 10th. That's the 41st day of the year. And remember, Ovechkin was born on 17/9, the 41st prime. It does kind of make me wonder. I think 41, and obviously one is only Stanley Cup 4 games to 1. It does make me wonder. Actually, I do want to check one thing first. That was on 2/10/2024. Yeah, and that was 147 days. What were we saying with 147? Shoot, what was it? Was that the number of windows on the White House or something like that? Yeah. Freemason, U.S. President, President of the United States. Yeah, 147 windows on the White House. Breaks Ovechkin's record 147 days after his birthday. That, yeah, on 56-date numerology. Sorry, I'm laughing because the script is just so ridiculously obvious. Yeah, 41st day of the year. It also does make me wonder. I think 41 will turn out to be a huge number in Ovechkin's career. I mean, it already has been, but he'll either retire or break Gretzky's goal record at age 41. And also, if that, I do feel like that's going to happen in 2027 because. So Washington is 49. Remember, Ovechkin was born on 49 date numerology. 227 is the 49th prime number. I wonder, he's either going to, when he, in 2026, 2027 season, he'll be 40. Yeah, he'll be 41 years old. And that'll probably be his last season, or if it's not his last season, that's going to be the season when he'll break Gretzky's record. We'll see, but that's just my hunch. Yeah, also another Ovechkin 31 thing. Flyers is 31. The Capitals played the Flyers in the last game of the season this year, and Ovechkin scored his 31st and last goal of the season in that game. And we answered my question earlier in this live stream. Hockey is 31. 31 is such an important number in Ovechkin's career. Now we know why. And in this video where we're talking about the Sharks-Capitals connection, I get an ad for flights to San Jose. Well, that's probably because I recently bought. Yeah, what's stupid is I do a lot of my flight purchasing on incognito windows because I don't want to get ads. But the other day when I bought my flight ticket, actually coincidentally going back for 4th of July, 7/4, talking about 7/4 in this video. But yeah, I made the mistake of not doing it on an incognito tab, and now I'm getting ads for it. That's the reason why I chose to do that kind of stuff on incognito tabs in the first place. But for some reason, I didn't. All right, whatever. Okay. I think we've talked about a lot of stuff in this video. I think tomorrow I'm going to do a live stream talking about my thoughts on the Stanley Cup Finals, which start tomorrow. And what else is there? Yeah, if you're subscribed to, I've talked about Shane Lux a lot in this video, but if you're subscribed to him on Patreon, go watch his Patreon video, his Patreon Stanley Cup Finals preview. There's some good stuff in there. Yeah, anyways, that'll do it for this live stream. We covered a lot of stuff going from Alex Ovechkin's birth, actually going from the inception of the Washington Capitals to today, pretty much. We'll see what's left in the store for Alex Ovechkin's career. Probably doesn't have that much time left in the NHL. And we'll see if it's like, I don't think he'll be like Kobe and die young. I mean, when I say young, I mean like under 60. I mean, Jordan is still alive. And like Hank Aaron lived to be pretty old. Barry Bonds is still alive. And I don't think Ovechkin's gonna die young. I mean, you never know because they always have these Russians. Like they had that Konstantin Koltsov die. He like fell off a balcony or some stupid shit. Yeah, you never know what they do with those Russians or Eastern Europeans, but I don't think he'll die young. I hope not. But I do suspect that his age 41 season will be an interesting one for sure. And with that being said, I've talked for way too long. My throat is starting to get a little itchy. Probably need some water or some beer or something. But yeah, and also I guess I won't. I want to keep talking because there's so much interesting things to talk about. A lot of the numbers that we talked about in this video were present in the Rangers World Series championship this past year. Like 32 was huge, 56 was huge, 34 was huge. Yeah, I mean I don't think 43 was quite as huge in the Rangers championship. Not that I remember, at least, but yeah. And also because the Rangers, they were started as the Washington Senators, so that's probably why there's a connection there. And they have the same colors. That's probably why. And they have Texas, and Washington D.C., two Jesuit strongholds. All right, yeah. Now we're gonna end it. Okay. Talk to you guys tomorrow.